Hello, everyone. I am Ryan Bowl, and thank you all for joining me once again. So, President Joe Biden has basically got a slap in the face from I think, a former Saturday Night Live comedian by the name of Rob Schneider, who basically blasted President Joe Biden for giving only a one-time $700 payment, if you will, or stimulus check, if you will, to those Hawaiians who have lost property in the Mayo fire. And yet he's giving tens of billions of dollars with the approval of Congress, obviously, tens of billions of dollars to Ukraine. Now, what's going on here, right? The accusation is that Biden simply doesn't care. But I'm going to give you my opinion of what I personally think this is all about, and that there's a bigger picture. So let's get right into this article here. Yeah. These are the people that unfortunately Americans put in office. Says actor comedian Rob Schneider has blasted President Joe Biden for giving more money to Ukraine than to the people in Hawaii who have lost their homes in the Mayo fires. Biden hates Americans, the former Saturday Night Live cast member wrote on Twitter, or X, on Tuesday, because it's a new name now. And this is what he says. He says $115 billion U.S. tax dollars to Ukraine. This is what he said on Twitter. $1.9 million to American Maya fire victims. Biden hates Americans. Yeah, well, we'll get into that. And it goes to say, after callously saying no comment, the article says, after callously saying no comment when asked over the weekend about the catastrophic fires in Hawaii, Biden shifted to PR, public relations damage control mode Monday by announcing survivors of the Mayo fires would receive, quote, a one-time $700 payment per household. Wow. Some estimates have noted that the White House's payment comes to a paltry $1.9 million to the state's fire victims. Meanwhile, the federal government continues to send tens of billions of dollars to Ukraine, with Congress approving $113 billion to Ukraine in 2022 alone. The vast disparity has resulted in more fallout for Biden, with some calling the $700 per household insulting, and rightly so. Former President Donald Trump was among those who slammed Biden for his bizarrely insensitive, quote, no comment response over the weekend. In a video posted Monday, Trump called Biden, quote, the most incompetent president in the history of our country, end of article right there. Yeah, that's pretty insane. That's pretty insane. And looking at it from a human perspective, that is insulting. You give $700, one-time $700 stimulus check, if you will, to Americans, basically because Hawaii is a part of America, American citizens. You give them $700, but yet you give tens of billions of dollars to Ukraine. Now, first thing first, to me, this seems like there's some type of and maybe some of you guys know about this. You can put it in the comment box below. And maybe I should have did a little bit more research on this about the relationship with Ukraine and the American politicians here, the politicians in our American government, okay? Because clearly there's something going on between the politicians in America and the Ukrainians. Why would you give all this money to these Ukrainians, you know what I mean, and yet give Hawaiians, Americans here, a one-time $700 stimulus check for losing their homes over $700? Are you kidding me? Why would you do that? And my response to that is that there's some kind of deal that the American politicians have with the Ukrainians over there, or the Ukrainian government. Something's going on there. You guys let me know in the comment box what you know about that. But something, the way I see it, is going on there that is clearly biased, okay, to say the least, okay? And the other thing is that this whole thing with Biden, hating Americans and so forth, that's a strong statement. And I think I may have said that in previous videos that Biden doesn't care about American people. But let me clarify that here in this video. I believe that Biden is nothing more than a puppet for the elites behind the scene. I believe he's just a puppet for the elites behind the scene. Now, I'm not going to go into the detail of who these elite are, but I'm pretty sure they're concerned. They're pertain to both political parties. They're people at the higher ups. They're the deep state. Let me summarize it that way. The deep state is using Biden, okay, to push this globalist agenda. American people, you are not a part of that, okay? And unfortunately, we vote these idiots in office. You vote puppets in office, you're going to get puppetry. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You vote clowns in office, what do you expect to get? If you vote a clown in office, what do you expect? You're going to get that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a clown who's going to be used by the deep state to push their globalist agenda. What do you expect? Come on, man. So I believe that Biden is nothing more than a tool by the globalist elite / deep state to push their agenda. I don't think he hates Americans in the sense that it's something of his own initiative, although he himself supports this, or the money that they're giving him supports that ideology. He's not against it, obviously. And if he was against it and is against it, he's not showing it because he'd be out of here. Okay? They're paying you. You got to go by what they do. Okay? They control you, sir. You got to go by what they do. You got to go by the script. So I don't believe he hates Americans in that sense. I think he's a tool used by the globalist elite / the deep state, and that's what he is. Unfortunately, he's a messed up tool. I don't want to say victim. I want to say that because he's not a victim in my view. He's certainly not a victim, but I believe he's a tool. But yeah. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. But another thing is, let me point this out too. I almost forgot. Let me point this out. It says in the article that $113 billion was basically supported by Congress. Now, Congress is composed, of course, we know of both bodies. You got the House of Representatives and the Senate. Okay. Well, the House of Representatives has Democrats, Republicans, or whatever. The Senate has Democrats, Republicans. Look, at the end of the day, all of these individuals from both political parties supported this whole idea of giving this money to these Ukrainians, the kind of money. I blame all of them because nobody's trying to stop it. And the way and they're going to continue to push this type of stuff until the American people come out of their matrix and wake up and see what is going on and started voting for populist candidates more so, like Trump, which is, once again, I'm going to keep putting that out there, why in summation, they're trying to bury him. He's on a 4th indictment, and I think one of his former lawyers is now coming against him. Now, I can't remember her name, but put her name in. I can't remember her name. But now she's yicking and yakking against him or something along that line. I mean, come on, man. You know, come on. Let's stop playing games. This is clearly our country is being shaken up from within. Okay? A lot of these politicians are paid for and they're controlled. And when you're paid for and you're controlled, you would do whatever those individual those payers are controlling you to do. Now, let me say something too before I sum this video up. America is not the problem. I've said this to one of my coworkers because he has this mindset, and God bless his heart. He's an intelligent man, but he has this mindset because of his religious upbringing. I'm not going to say what the religion is. It was religious upbringing and the conditioning of his religious ideology that America is the problem. America. No, America is not the problem. When we talk about America, we're talking about the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and Declaration of Independence. That is the foundation of America. And it's the best in the world, okay? Because it's built on biblical principles of freedom and the right to be what you want to be. And I'm not talking about this, trans. I ain't coming up with all that nonsense. But it's based on freedom. But I'm not going to elaborate on it further, okay? But the point is this. America is not the issue. It's the politicians that the American people vote for that's the issue, okay? When you get dark-hearted, nasty, globalist people inside the White House on both the right and the left, when you get them, whether it's local, state, or federal, when you vote those people in office, you're going to have a corrupt government. And a corrupt government tends to be the face of that country. So people tend to say, oh, America is the problem. But America is not the problem. It's the elite. It's the globalists. It is the politicians in the American government that's the problem. They're the ones that create the laws. not the American people. The fault that the American people should take responsibility for is the fact that they were not discerning enough and educated enough and informed enough to see the world views of the politicians they voted for. So they should be responsible for that. Okay. But on the other hand, look, these people have sick agendas and sick worldviews. So America is not the problem when it comes to giving money to the Ukrainians, all this money to the Ukrainians, and then giving nothing to the victims in Hawaii. America isn't the problem. It's the politicians in America that's a problem. Get rid of the swamp rats like Trump has been trying to do and put in real people, and you'll probably fix the problem. Okay, that's why the founders from the get-go created a constitution of a constitution of checks and balances, because they understood the darkness of the human nature. They understood that mankind is born and shaping in iniquity according to what the Bible says. People are evil because we're born that way, and that certain laws are put in place to restrain that evil. When you remove those laws, whether it's on a federal, state or local level, or you remove those laws from the community, people go buck wild because it's in their heart to do so. So you put laws in place to restrain that type of behavior. You don't remove the laws. When you remove the laws, they go buck wild. They go crazy because it's in their heart to do so. It's not the environment. It's in them. It's their heart, the darkness of their heart that is causing the problems. And we have these kind of people in the government on the state, local, and federal level who have dark hearts, who want to control the American people and who want to destroy America from within, not without, but from within, not with guns, but with propaganda, in order to fracture this country, dismantle this country, and bring in a one world socialist, globalist, communist government. There you go right there. That's what I had to say about it. Yes, in some of this video up, this is sick what he's doing. But it goes to show you get what you vote for. You get what you vote for. You voted for this man. Conservatives have been saying for the longest, he's not concerned about American people, but they didn't want to listen. They're just orange man bad. Let's get Trump out of there. Ooh, we hate Trump. Boo, 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 boo. Okay. Now you got someone in the office that, being the puppet and robot that he is, hates you. I know it's forward. I know it's harsh for people, but it's the truth. The way I see it's the truth. And it's the truth that it will set you free. Hey, that's my words on it. What do you guys think about Biden giving $700? What do you think about that? What do you think about all this? And then giving all this money to the Ukrainians. What do you think about it? You think he cares? You think he's a robot? You think he's a puppet? What do you think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all, and see you again.